Hello, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. I'm Brandon Walker. Yes, the Brandon Walker.
And I am jersey on.
Huh?
You have a nice jersey on today.
Yeah, I have a Deion Sanders Atlanta Braves jersey.
That's why I said it was nice.
Yeah, I like the baseball player Deion Sanders.
You and I were matching earlier, and we're not matching anymore. It makes me sad.
Yeah, you changed into free merch.
Well, I had a photo shoot before this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I had to know, but we were matching in cozy blue flannels.
Yeah, no, not flannels.
Not flannels. Fleece. That's what I was looking for. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
It's snowing.
So I was about to say.
You got to get y'all out of here so you can get to the airport because it's snowing.
Yeah, Ev and I both have to get back to the airport. This is one of those days you could put your high noon outside in the snow.
Yeah.
You don't even have to worry about a refrigerator or a cooler or none of that. You can just throw it out there.
Right on the back porch.
Right on the back porch. You know what? This is whenever you were living in Jersey. This is one of those days you would have put your figurines outside and seen how.
I forgot to. Yeah,
well, because I think from what I'm told, the Chicago weather people didn't know it was going to be this much snow.
They said 1 to 2 inches. It feels like it's more than that out there.
It looks like it's more than that.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm a judger on inches, it looks like it's a little bit more than that.
And if I know anything about you,
you know I love High Noon. High Noon. HighNoonSpirits.com. Go find a pack near you. The High Noon End Zone pack is here for a limited time. Get it while you can. You know where to find High Noon. You know where to find High Noon.
If I'm a judger on inches.
I knew.
What kind of?
You knew.
I know what we're.
I knew.
Everybody knows what we're doing around here.
Especially whenever we're in person together because we just get that vibe off each other. You know?
Yeah. I just, I've enjoyed. Can I say something? You and I have been together for 5 years.
I think it's been longer than that, but go ahead.
It's been 5.
Has it really only been 5?
I started in 2019.
So it's longer than that. 6th season, though.
Sure. Whatever. Okay. We've been together for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
I have enjoyed having Blutman and Big Ev this season. I think it's really been. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the other two that we had. I missed them, but I've enjoyed it. But when I get here this morning and knowing that there's a huge top 5 showdown in Columbus this Saturday, and knowing how confident Big Ev is, and just looking over here at his fat fucking face, just smiling, just guys run the damn ball like he's in his fucking bag, as the kids say today. I just look at that and I'm like, that sickens me.
This is exactly what I was talking about when we introduced having the two guys on the podcast now, that like we've all been a podcast of losers.
Yeah.
As long as Unnecessary Roughness has been a podcast.
We finally have a winner, maybe.
We have been losers. And now we introduce Ev. And look at him. Look how happy he is.
There he is.
I mean, listen, we still got to play a game.
Big game in Columbus this weekend.
Big top 5 matchup in Columbus. Now we're going to kick their ass.
Yeah.
My fuck you meter is hanging from my ball sack.
Because against Penn State.
And my confidence is, this happens to me every time, my confidence has gradually risen. My respect level for Indiana has just decreased as the week's gone on. We're just going to beat them up front.
Yeah. And
I know Seth got hurt.
When you had your other big game against Penn State this year, you didn't really have a fuck you meter, and then you woke up Saturday morning and you said you got a little more confident as the game got closer. Now it's Thursday and just fuck them all, huh?
Yeah, because I saw what we did to Penn State.
Yeah.
And I with my eyes, I know Penn State is more physical than Indiana is. I know they are.
Yeah.
And we're just going to be Michigan was too physical for them. They were lucky. If Michigan had a pulse of a quarterback, they win that game. Mm-hmm. We do. We have a pulse of quarterback. We have receivers, running backs, offense. Even with the offensive line injuries, we still push people around. That's obviously the concern, was that Seth McLaughlin got hurt. Very random. It was one of the more like just, why does this happen to me moments, that he sells his hat. I bought it, and it was just sitting on my desk the day after he got hurt.
That sucks.
Insane.
That sucks.
Insane.
But listen,
the second half, Indiana, Michigan, if you're an Ohio State fan, you watch that, you're like, I think that we're probably okay.
So we'll be brief on some of these games at the beginning. We'll get straight to the categories because, like I said, it is a pretty good snow here in Chicago, and they both have to go to the airport. And I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to the airport. So we got to.
It's not looking good. This is one of those days. I mean, this is now like the 4th show that I've done this morning.
Yeah.
And we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
We also need to get home.
Yeah,
at some point.
Definitely do. But Ohio State, Indiana, obviously being the big one, top 5 matchup. Indiana number 5. It's one of those games where I'm just kind of sick of hearing about Indiana. It's now their opportunity. It's their chance. It's now you can't. Don't say we have a bad schedule. Don't say this. Don't say that. No, you got the opportunity Saturday. You've been wanting people to shut up about your schedule. Your schedule improves dramatically on Saturday. You have this huge, gigantic shot. Put up or shut up time for Indiana.
It's going to be huge. And I obviously, like when we did the college football show, whatever time this morning, like Ev's fuck you meter was a little bit less. The watching him, and it's not just him, it's just in general, like the Ohio State people around the office, like I feel like they're almost not telling us how confident they actually are because there's a little bit of respect for Indiana as a 10-0 team. And again, they played Michigan close every other game. They've blown the doors off of them. But Ohio State fans are walking around here knowing, I think what I believe more so now is they're just a better team. They're more physical. They have better talent. The only thing I don't think is they have a better coach. I don't think they have a better coach.
I mean, yeah, that's a difficult thing to say because Ryan Day hasn't really won the big one at Ohio State. He's still a damn good coach.
Well, yeah, no, but Cignetti is coaching his ass off. Curtis Rourke, obviously an incredible quarterback. This feels to me like an Ohio State, just like, hey, let's prove how good we really are moment.
I think it's a bludgeoning myself, and I've felt that for a while. Now, for Indiana, to me, you stay within 3 touchdowns, I think you're okay for the playoff. I think as long as you don't throw up a 52-0 or a 59-7, I think you're probably pretty good for the playoff. But I wouldn't fuck around with it.
No, but I do think they keep it respectable. I don't think that it's going to be a.
No, I don't think it's that crazy. Like I think Ohio State wins somewhere between like 14 and 20.
31-17, 31-14.
I think it's just like a comfortable win because listen, I think it's gonna be one of those games where maybe a little more of a gap than Penn State game in the scoring margin. But like anyone who watched that game, you almost forget it was a 7-point game because Ohio State dominated so much.
Yeah.
And I could see a little bit of that where like we win by like 14, but like, oh, like this could have got ugly if this didn't happen or this didn't happen.
All right, we're gonna move on pretty quickly. But Blutman,
he was gonna give you a second.
I was getting skipped.
Give me a chance. We're gonna move on pretty quickly, but. Blutman, you being the pro-Indiana voice on this show as you've been all year, lay out the case for Indiana winning this football game.
What case? Ohio State's too good. They're too quick. They're too fast. They're too strong. They're too physical. They're too well coached. They're too good at quarterback. They're too good at receiver. There's no chance.
He's poor mouthing.
Which is why
this
will be the greatest day of my life. Because Indiana has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. I hate it, but they do.
Those were 2 great callbacks.
Nobody gets the references, and I'm just seething over here.
No, those were 2 great callbacks to the college
yeah,
show.
I when was watching Brandon say that, I had the realization instantly that I've got to do that on this show. Is what it is. I think it's going to be a good game. I honestly I do think Ohio State wins. I think in the 10-point region. What scares me most, a lot of money on Indiana cover. The line just kept going up. I hate that.
Yeah, genuinely
hate that. There's 2 things for me watching this game. One, Denzel Burke got cooked against Oregon. Elijah Surratt is a dog. He's coming off a bye week and a really bad game against Michigan. Let's see how the man who calls himself Waffle House does against the Ohio State secondary because he's always open. And then let's see on the other side, Jeremiah Smith. Money on the rise, the worst nickname of all time, against D'Angelo Pons. D'Angelo Pons is a dog, and I think people are really going to see that on Saturday. Pons against Jeremiah Smith, fascinating to see that matchup. Both guys going to win reps. Both guys going to lose reps. My eyes are on that. And then a third Kamara on the defense line for Indiana. Monster. I want to see him go up and win some reps and just have a good game, make some NFL money. I'm just excited to watch the game. I don't care who wins. Both teams should be in the playoff. Unless Indiana wins by 900 or Ohio State wins by 901. Both are playoff teams. Both are good teams. Let's play some ball. Let's have fun. Let's unite and be one. One Big Ten.
No. I don't want to do that.
One Big Ten. Let's just get.
Don't do it, Ed. Don't do that.
I think I can't. I don't think I can.
One Big Ten.
You got to want to win by 30.
Big Ten. All right. We're all a part of this. Go Bruins.
You spoke a little bit too long, Blutman. That's what happened. You had a point, and then you ruined it at the end.
Yeah. You ran out of gas there. You were driving pretty good. You ran out of gas.
I don't drive. I was just talking a little ball. I was on the bike.
No, I do have a question, and I don't think that this is the case. But is there any world where it's like, okay, Ohio State's clearly going to win, and the Big Ten office is like, hey, maybe not by 40?
Listen, you're preaching to the choir here. I think halftime Ohio State when they're up 27-3. Big Ten's like, hey Ryan, maybe just chill out. Maybe they win 27-17 or something like that. Yeah,
maybe, that.
Let's get all 4 of it. Let's get all 4 of you guys in.
We got to cover the spread for these people. For these good, fine people laying the points with Ohio State.
That's fine, but then maybe after that,
he
owes
don't
it
score.
To those
people.
Yeah,
just don't score. I don't know. Maybe I know that people accuse Greg Sankey of doing that all the time. So
that's the part of this I love. Brandon Walker going against Indiana. Can you make it 0 for 6, 0 for 7?
It certainly hasn't been 7 times.
Can you go
Brandon, it's
0
been all
for
It
8?
has not
0
been all
for
season.
8, 0 for
It's
9,
not
0
been
for
7.
10.
Now you're just adding on. It has not been.
No, I'm adding on to the eventual playoff.
I had them on
Sorry.
upset alert against
Sorry.
Northwestern, but that wasn't. I didn't say they're going to lose. I said upset alert, and I've said repeatedly, upset alert doesn't mean you think they're going to lose. It's upset alert.
No, I know.
I had Nebraska beating them. That was wrong. They beat them 56-7. That was way wrong. I think I had Michigan State beating them. So I think this is the third time I've had somebody beating them.
It feels more than that, but I'm not going to discredit you.
Name one more.
Washington.
Yeah, that's true.
I did not say that. What I 100%.
Walker, Brown Walker.
I 100% did not say Washington was
All
going to
I'm
beat because
saying-
I don't believe in Will Rogers.
Oh, Brandon Walker.
I didn't say that.
Brandon Walker.
I will sit here.
Brandon Walker.
I know what I said.
men
Brandon
will
Walker
find the
tells the
tape.
truth all the time. I did not say Washington was going to beat Indiana. I might just put them on upset alert again, but I didn't say they were going to beat them.
I feel like if there's anybody,
$100 out of my wallet, you find a clip of me saying that Washington was going to beat Indiana.
Oh, man.
I feel
What's Lucas got to do with anything?
Add to the tab.
I feel like if there's
You ever got
anybody
that
in this
lunch?
company other than Katie Stats that I would trust to remember something like that, it's Liam Blutman. And this is not anything against you. I just wouldn't want to try to go on like a memory off with Blutman.
Army Notre Dame.
Can't wait.
You want to talk about another team getting their opportunity. Army all year, they're undefeated. They've been killing folks, and they have not played a good schedule. They're a lot like Indiana in that regard, but they're playing a Notre Dame team who has lost to Northern Illinois at home. They're playing them in Yankee Stadium. Blutman has been on record saying games in baseball stadiums don't count. As stupid as that is, it's funny. But any reason Big Av to believe Army can beat Notre Dame?
I do. I just think too many people are equating this game to the Navy game, and I think there's very little correlation other than they both run a semblance of the triple option.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only that's the only comparison. I think Army's significantly more physical. They play better defense. I think they execute better. I think they're coached better. I think they're more built to hang with the big boys than Navy was. And I think Navy, they shit down their legs so much in that game. Quarterback was just fumbling left and right, bad throws. Pick was horrible. I mean, just so many things that went against them that I just think like mistakes they made that Army will not make. I really think they hang here. I think 14.5 is a gift.
Kayce, any world where Army beats Notre Dame?
I do think there's a world. I think that, I mean, first of all, Bryson Daly is incredible. And we know that, Notre Dame's front seven is good. Obviously, it's a Notre Dame defensive front. But the way that Bryson Daly can run the ball is, I mean, like I feel like he's got to be at the top of the nation in some sort of stat. He has to be.
He missed a game or two with injury, but no, he's put up insane numbers.
Like it's insane.
numbers.
So that's the biggest matchup to me. Obviously, I think when you look at Notre Dame, they have the big win in week 1, but they haven't done anything else really since then. I mean, they lost to Northern Illinois. We've talked about that, and it's like, how much do you really put on that game in week 1? There is a world. I don't think that Army wins, but I think Army keeps it within the number. I don't think that they get blown out.
I think Notre Dame beats the shit out of Army. I think everything Army is built to do, Notre Dame is built to do better. Notre Dame's defense is fucking nasty. It is at every level. At every single level, it is just absolutely a killer defense, one of the 5 best defenses in the country. I think that's even maybe being conservative. And they can pound the rock. They can pound it, they can pound it, they can pound it, they can pound it. I just feel like body for body, Army's not going to be able to hold up. And Army is it's a great story. I'm glad Army is 10-0. They haven't beaten anybody. They haven't been on the field with anybody. And really, in fairness, since Texas A&M, Notre Dame hasn't exactly shared the field with any good teams either. But I just feel like Notre Dame is man for man way, way better than Army. Again, would I like to see Army win this game or keep it close for the story? Sure. I'm a college football purist. I'd love to see
Love the
Army.
troops.
I'd love that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't look in this camera and say I believe this Army team can hang with this Notre Dame.
I mean, Notre Dame, I think it's been either the last 4 or 5 games has allowed like 14 points or fewer. That's a little bit scary when you're a triple option-ish team. Although I do think that it is different. I agree with Ev. I do think it's different than the Navy game. And also, I'm kind of rooting for chaos here. Like, if Army does beat Notre Dame, what the playoff committee is going to have to do, that to me is what I'm rooting for.
Ole Miss, Florida, anything on that one?
We're
going to get to the categories and we'll get more games. But
do you worry? I mean, I know that you would love to see Florida beat Ole Miss.
Kayce, I don't know that you understand the worlds that could collide and create this incredible firework
Okay.
of
Tell me.
content for me and of happiness for me. for the last 3 years, has anybody been more anti-Billy Napier than me? No.
You're very.
Is there anybody that hates Ole Miss more than me?
No.
How beautiful would it be
boy.
if a couple of weeks after I said Florida's keeping Billy Napier? What a joke of a football program. Because last week they stood up and they're like, by the way, this LSU team will beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, after they got killed by Texas.
Lagway
wasn't playing.
Lagway gets back healthy, and then you start to see the vision. I'm like, oh, now wait a minute. This team's healthy.
They're going to go to a bowl
quarterbacks. They're going to go to a bowl game. Like, wait a minute. And for them to have Ole Miss here in this spot with Ole Miss on the brink of a playoff, Ole Miss who has never won anything.
Well, they just beat Georgia.
I'm obviously speaking bigger picture stuff,
okay, right.
but they're on the brink of a playoff game. Mm-hmm. For them to go into the swamp, 10-point favorites, for them to lose to Billy Napier, and I would be the biggest Billy Napier stan of all time. I would immediately flip, and I would be doing the Gator chomp down Division Street in Chicago. Like I would lead the Billy Napier charge next year. I would be so. You will never meet a bigger Billy Napier fan than me if that were to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I just envision
it could happen.
I envision Brent Walker
think
selfie video in front of his TV.
Oh.
Billy Napier, you smart, handsome son of a
You
bitch,
beautiful motherfucker.
At like 3:30.
best coach in the country. I said it all along.
You know what I'm talking about.
Gator
too.
chomping.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's because it's the 12 o'clock kick to 11 o'clock in Chicago. It is gonna be, if that happens, which I don't think it's gonna happen. I do think Ole Miss is gonna win and cover the spread. If that does happen, the rest of the day is gonna be Brandon Walker insufferable mode.
Can I say something about Ole Miss? Because I've given them plenty of credit. I think Lane's a great coach. He's taken them a long way. They beat Georgia. They dominated Georgia. Like, they have the ability to be one of the top teams in the country. Mm-hmm. Ever since they beat Georgia, people are treating them as if that is what they are at all times. They have shown the ability to lose to subpar teams. They lost to Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Kentucky's fucking terrible. They lost to Kentucky at home. They lost to LSU on the road. They lost to LSU after, they were being in control, let them hang around, and they lost. Is it that wild of a proposition if Lagway is a dude like we think he is, if they've got the momentum we think they do? Is it that wild of a proposition Ole Miss also comes in and takes their eye off the ball and drops this one? I don't think it's that crazy. I personally think Ole Miss is going to win and probably win comfortably, but I also thought that against Kentucky and LSU. I bet Ole Miss to kill LSU.
So no, it's not crazy at all. And obviously, this is a very tricky spot for Lane and for Ole Miss. But the Ole Miss defense is so good. And DJ Lagway is obviously great. What Florida has going with him is great. The biggest thing with the loss against Kentucky and LSU was the offensive line not being able to protect Jackson, the offense not really going well. So that, to me, is like, Florida. Do you think Florida's defense can create those issues?
Florida had 7 sacks against an LSU offensive line and has given up a lot fewer sacks.
They had given up 6 all year.
Yeah.
So that's where I would be, you're asking me in what world that happens. It's not necessarily DJ Lagway versus the Ole Miss defense. It's the opposite. It's, can they protect Jackson? Can Jackson play the way he's played the last few games? We'll see. I think Ole Miss wins. I think they cover. But it would not be crazy, no, if Florida beats them.
I think Florida puts a scare into them. I think Ole Miss wins a close one.
Yeah, I think that might be about right. Because, again, the last thing we saw out of Ole Miss was a field rushing, goalpost coming down, beating Georgia, greatest thing ever, yay, and everybody says, well, that's who they are. But it really hasn't been who they are this year. They also have shown the other side, but ultimately you got Jackson Dart. You got that kind of talent. I think Trey Harris will be back too.
Yeah.
Who's still, by the way, leading the SEC in receiving. He hasn't played in a month and a half.
Insane, but also he was he was a merchant of putting up 1 billion yards against some of these bad teams.
Yeah.
Just like Georgia.
He definitely had a few of those games.
Yeah.
But I just think how physical Florida is on defense. They're just trending in such a positive direction. I still think that not enough people are talking about that. I really think they were going to beat Georgia if Lagway stayed
You're right.
in that game, or at least it's a to the wire kind of game. I think this Florida team is so much better than everyone's kind of giving them credit just because of how they started. And obviously their schedule. I really think this is like a dogfight kind of game. I think it's a defensive battle. I think it's under.
I mean, Lagway.
I like under too.
Lagway.
Ooh, the under's a good play.
Fantastic.
He's talented as hell. You just see,
and he just steps up in the
has
pocket.
a little
He's
bit
mature. He had a throw last week where all he did was step up in the pocket with a guy rushing behind him and threw a dart to the goal line, and it was like an NFL throw.
He has. I want this to be a compliment. He has a little bit of like the Anthony Richardson pop in him. Like he just looks like a specimen run. Like you just see him like running with the ball and that like outside, like rolling out of the pocket.
He has that flash to him.
He just looks like a specimen. Like he just looks like just a superior athlete.
Looks like he was born to do this.
Like he's just big and the ball just explodes out of his hand.
I just don't think Billy Napier can do it.
Do some business.
Pork rinds. We love pork rinds. I'm going to be honest. I am starving. I'm going to grab.
I'm also starving.
I am starving. This is one of those days, and it's like as we get closer to the holidays, obviously, like around these offices, like we're crazy busy all the time. We're kind of packing everything in. You forget to eat sometimes. You know what I'm going to do, Brandon? I'm going to eat some pork rinds.
Yep.
I'm going to eat some pork rinds because they have got the protein that I need. The snacking is delicious. The spicy dill. I'm going to steal one of your bags of spicy dills.
That's fine. You can have it.
I'm going to do it. Less than 1 gram of carb in each serving. Tons of protein. Chips and pretzels. Get out of here. You've been benched. We don't like you anymore. Well, we still do, but we love pork rinds even more. And obviously, you can go vote for the Crunch Time Hero of the Week. It's a sponsorship program designed to highlight outstanding football players during the regular season. They will get a whole trophy. They'll get a whole package, which you never gave me a trophy for my tweet.
Turn around. You can have that Chili's 3 for me trophy back there.
We haven't been doing the worst.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Hey, listen, Saturday has a lot of opportunities for some.
I think I might have had the worst one last week. But
what did you say last week?
It was mine when South Carolina was losing. I tweeted out there a thoroughly average team, which they're probably a little bit better than average, but it just got destroyed.
Oh, yeah, no, South Carolina fans are big mad at you.
Yeah.
They're big mad at you.
Yeah. They're just the biggest fucking bitches I've ever seen in my life.
They are not happy with you. That is a fact.
Yeah. They're 7-3 and they want to be in the playoff. I'm sorry. You are a pretty good team. You're not a playoff team. That's just, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Let the other guys lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Well, you can't have 3 losses in the regular season and be in the playoff.
No, you cannot.
Unless everybody else does. Which
They got fucked against LSU.
They
shouldn't be in the 3 losses. No 3 losses.
Be that as it may, they gave up 40 points to an LSU offense that hasn't scored 40 points against any other good team.
36.
36. Whatever. 40. We're rounding up.
Listen, I just appreciate you taking the heat off of me for my South Carolina.
I'm not doing it for that reason.
No,
but,
I know you're not, but
yeah.
I do appreciate it. We know porkrinds.com. Just go to porkrinds.com.
This week is fraught with peril.
You said that so many times that I now am on Liam's side that someone told you to say it.
It's fraught with peril. Just looking down the top 25, we're about to get to the categories. But UNLV is number 24. That's a perilous trip to San Jose State, who, frankly, did not play as well as people thought they would last week against Boise State. SMU at Virginia might look a little easy. I think that's a little scary this late in the season. Illinois, they're ranked. Rutgers trip this time of year?
They're not ranked.
Pick them.
They're not ranked. Them and Mizzou aren't ranked. Those are fake.
Illinois is
Those are
25th,
completely fake numbers.
I understand, but you have to let me say what they are ranked. I know that you don't think they should be ranked.
Ev, how do we word this?
Well, he's
They're
not doing
ranked.
it. You're doing it.
But I know he agrees with me.
They're fake, phony, frauds,
The numbers aren't there. They're an illusion.
a mirage.
Yeah.
Fugazi.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there is a number next to it.
Ole Miss at Florida.
No.
Ole Miss at Florida is fraught with peril. Colorado at Kansas is fraught with peril.
That one's scary.
BYU at Arizona State. I think Arizona State's just going to smash them. Penn State at Minnesota. Penn State just cruising through. Everybody's talking about Indiana's schedule. Everybody's talking about Texas' schedule. Nobody's talking about Penn State's schedule. And they go on the road to Minnesota, who's pretty good. Boise at Wyoming, that's nothing. Notre Dame against Army. Texas A&M at Auburn.
Woo!
Auburn's been this close to picking somebody off this year, and they've found a way to lose every time.
We said it in the episode on Tuesday. This is how the script goes. Just keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it moving. Bama, Oklahoma's probably good, and Iowa State at Utah, whatever. Anyway,
Bama, Oklahoma. I mean, Bama's going to destroy them.
Wait.
Oh,
I have some thoughts about that too.
no, you
I have
don't.
thoughts.
What are your thoughts? You think that everybody's crowning Alabama now and that
Alabama lost on the road to Vanderbilt.
they did, but
Do I
Vanderbilt's pretty
think
good.
Vanderbilt is significantly better than Oklahoma is at this point in the year?
They have a way better quarterback, and that's all you need to know.
I don't know that they do.
You don't think Diego Pavia is better than Jackson Arnold?
I think he's more mature and older.
I think he's better. Like he's more of a winner.
I think right in 2024 he's a better college football quarterback than
well, because
Jackson
I
Arnold. But I
understand,
think there's
physically he probably doesn't have the physical tools that Jackson Arnold has. Height, size, just arm strength.
I think we could have a light switch moment for Jackson Arnold at any moment. And I don't know if that's here.
I think Oklahoma's a little bit live.
I do too. That's what I'm trying to say.
Really?
Yeah. I do.
That you want to.
Alabama has they killed LSU on the road, sure.
Well, LSU's not very good.
They haven't been that great on the road.
You know who? You know, I mean, we've been talking about all these games that could like upset the college football playoff situation. Like, if Oklahoma beats Alabama,
All hell breaks loose. Yeah, but then again,
if Texas loses to Kentucky,
it's fraught with peril.
You know, I will say.
What about Kentucky and Texas?
I don't think Kentucky's got anything.
Just kind of a callback to what Big Head said in the college football show. It's always the one you don't expect.
Yeah, it could be that
Oklahoma would be the one that no one saw coming.
That's true.
Yeah.
Besides me and Brandon Walker, but we're
Yeah.
all knowers.
And I don't really see it coming, but I just I see it coming enough.
I think I'm going to take them with the points. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that confident.
Do you see it coming like from a like it could be a close game down the stretch, or you think that it's going to be just like a bloodbath?
I just think they hang around. Milroe throws a pick in the fourth quarter, and oh my God, does Oklahoma have the ball down 3 with 3 minutes left?
Oh my God.
Something like that.
Okay.
We'll get to the categories now. The Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes Game of the Week. We have 22 minutes, so I can get y'all out of here on time. 22 minutes. So we have 6 categories.
You know that there are absolutely people out there that are like, "Oh, you're rushing." There's a blizzard.
There's snow.
I was trying to make it more dramatic.
There's a fucking blizzard.
It's not that.
Lives are at stake here, people.
Listen. I'm just saying.
Lives are at stake if you're watching my game.
What's your Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes
1
Game
in
of the
10
Week?
Charleston Southern, 1-9 Florida State. That says it all.
Oh God! See, whenever you make fun of these SEC teams or these big time teams that have bad teams in November, you're like, oh look, why are they playing them? I feel good that I'm happy for Florida State. They get to play Charleston Southern now. Like, yeah, this is smart. Get you a win, maybe.
A bad FCS team.
Yeah,
really, really bad. They beat Furman somehow. I'm not sure how, but yeah. Bad.
What a Blutman? No, Big Av. What's your Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes Game of the Week?
Don't overthink this one. It's Northwestern versus Michigan. This is a disgusting, grotesque football game.
Cosign. Even if they're not the worst records in the world, there's nothing about Northwestern Michigan that will be visually appealing.
No.
You're not going to see any plays that are like, oh, that's football in 2024. It's going to be gross, disgusting, nasty. Get that off my TV.
We're going for a three-peat.
Going for
That's the one I had too. I mean and I put Iowa, Maryland up there too, kind of for the same reason.
I almost doubled up on the state of Michigan because I don't want to see Purdue, Michigan State either.
Yeah, that's the Friday night game.
Like Purdue's the most unwatchable team in the country.
I think Michigan State's going to absolutely shellac them. There's just a lot of unwatchable Big Ten games outside of the big one, to be honest. Well, USC, UCLA, I'm excited about. Sorry, Blutman. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
What
Seems
game?
to not be excited. They're playing USC.
What game's going to overtime this week, Blutman?
North Dakota State, double overtime. North Dakota State at South Dakota. Yep, it's an ominous weekend as you speak of. Number 1, North Dakota State. Number 4, South Dakota. Why not a little crazy stuff happening in Vermillion? They play in the Dome. Snow ain't going to be a bother there. Funky little stadium. If you see the turf, it's so fake. It's hilarious. Double overtime. Why not? Stunner.
Big F. Double overtime. Oh, shit.
He got it.
Fuck.
Oh, shit.
He figured it out.
Guys?
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, I got it.
You got it.
When these two teams play, you throw the record books out.
You sure do.
This is blood, sweat, and guts war. USC, UCLA.
Oh, come on.
Love it.
Little West Coast.
Buckle up.
No, I don't want
Buckle up.
Little
we going
LA.
until 3 a.m.
Buckle up.
Eastern time?
This thing might go to 5. Who knows?
Stop.
It might be 100 overtime.
And we're going to let Blutman stay live the whole time,
Yes.
There might be just a two-point conversion fest to the wee hours of the night.
right? I love it. You love it, Blutman?
No.
Think about how much that'll get you going. UCLA wins 46-44 on a
We're not
walk-off.
sleeping.
Would you sign up for overtime right now? Boom, you could sign up. You're in overtime.
No, we could beat him in regulation. We don't need
You
OT.
could lose.
I mean, we could lose any game we play. We could win any game we play. We could beat him in regulation. I don't need overtime.
I want it. I want it.
Kayce, what's the do overtime game of the week?
UCF West Virginia. Those teams just seem like no one will give a fuck, and we'll look up and they're 2-point conversioning off.
I have the same idea for my team.
Okay.
I have no idea. These are solid programs and respectable programs, but I just
Can I guess it?
No, I don't think you're going to get it because it's off the beaten path. I guess it.
Texas Tech, Kansas State,
No.
or Oklahoma State.
No. I just picture looking up on Saturday and you're like, we go to Western Kentucky and Liberty are in the 5th overtime. Like Western Kentucky, fuck, let me get over there and watch Western Kentucky and Liberty, and it's just 49-49, and they've been going at it for 3.5, 4 hours.
Honestly, the Big 12 is kind of full of them. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, UCF, West Virginia, Baylor, Houston.
Yeah.
Like any of those.
Baylor Houston feels like one of those that goes to the fifth overtime and 2-point conversion wins it 12-10.
So bad.
Anyway, let's go to the player you're most excited to watch this weekend. Since we are in person, I'm trying to get them out of here in 17 minutes. Blutman, you can only say 3 players.
Kyle Efford, linebacker, Georgia Tech. That's tonight, Thursday. 58 tackles, total tackles, 2 sacks last season. He's the fella
Is he the linebacker-looking dude?
Comical shoulder pads. All-time linebacker stack. Look out for him. Friday night, San Jose State receiver. I used him last week. I'm using him again. Nick Nash, 95 catches, 1,282 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns. I did my Biletnikoff votes. And he is, once again, very high up there. He is the Triple Crown leader right now in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. He has over a 100-yard lead on yards. He has such a seismic lead. This should be your Biletnikoff. And then Saturday at Yankee Stadium, Brady Small, center, Army, one of the best centers in the country. He's just sophomore. Incredible upper body strength, leg drive, footwork. Look out for number 51, but he's number 1 in your heart.
Player to watch in all of college football. He went with Army's center.
He rocks. Brady Small.
That's why he's the best.
Gave him an All-American vote.
Big F. Player to watch.
He's gonna be snapping that ball to Bryson Daly.
Yeah.
Stud. Watch magic happen. They don't see it coming. Navy or Notre Dame's about to get a rude awakening. Watch. I've been saying it all year. Watch.
I noticed you
Wait
gave
for it.
Oh, I got it. Whew, took a while.
You gave me a look on the college football show when I said nobody wants to beat or wants Army to beat Notre Dame more than Big Ev does. You kind of gave me a look. It's because of that vibe right there. Like there has not been a man that loves Army more than this man, and he fucking hates Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It's a perfect storm. West Point guy.
Yeah, me too.
You remember when we were in Mississippi? Sorry, side note. We were in Mississippi and Rudy looked at the map and thought like West Point.
Is that
like
the military
Army
academy?
He was like, I didn't know West Point was in Mississippi.
My hometown's West Point, Mississippi.
And he was baffled that it was not the same place.
Upstate New York.
Yeah. It's straight up on the Hudson.
Yeah.
What's the category? Player to watch.
Player to watch. Listen, this is a little bit of a chalk one, but we've not talked about this game yet. It's Shedeur Sanders against Kansas. Kansas right now, I mean, they are not the team in the Big 12 you want to see. They've got some life. They're 4-6, and he has had an unbelievable season, especially the last 3 games. He's thrown for at least 290 yards, has 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, and obviously Travis Hunter versus the Kansas corners are going to be the standout matchup because we're going to see what happens on offense. I'm looking for Shedeur to just absolutely have a fucking game. And we've talked about it enough on this podcast. Everybody's talking about it enough. If you take Travis Hunter off that team, like Shedeur would be in New York. Like that. I mean, it's crazy that he's not when you look at that. I understand the line is close. I understand it's -3 right now. I think Colorado beats the fuck out of Kansas. I really do.
I think Kansas might beat them.
I know. You and everybody else.
But Kansas is
playing. I mean, they've literally knocked off 2 of the best teams in the Big 12 the last 2 weeks. They're playing it really well.
They are.
Is not
I think they're
of,
playing right now. They're playing like the team that a lot of people thought they would be at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And this is not me trying to say that I'm going to discredit Kansas because they are playing much better and they have had 3 straight wins. I just think Colorado is so we saw what happened last week and they played like shit for half that game and they killed them.
You are also getting just desperate Kansas, who has to win both games to make a bowl.
And Colorado's fighting for a playoff bid.
Here's my player to watch. Last week, Travis Hunter threw a haymaker in the Heisman race, had the interception, had the touchdown, had the big catch, and he rose up to -300, -400, whatever he is right now. So it's your turn, Ashton Genty. What do you got? Come back. You've run for like 230. You ran for 230 last week on like 33 carries. I need you to get back to early season Ashton Genty. Give me 19 carries, 257 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Give me that, because then we got what this is making you think over there, Big Ed. What's it?
No, I just think I think
it's over.
The momentum, like he could go for 1,000. No one's gonna care who they're playing. Like they're playing Wyoming. Like no one's gonna give a shit.
You say that, but I think if I'm not mistaken, he'll go over 2,000 yards this weekend, right?
I think you're better off putting your horse in Cam Ward at this point.
He'll go over 2,000 yards. I think if he goes over 2,000 with 2 games left, I think you still got to look at him like, oh my God.
It also depends on what the other guys do.
I wish for his sake, I wish Washington State and Oregon were like now.
Yeah.
Like if he had done those games now, I think it would look differently.
I think he's hurt.
Yeah.
He peaked.
Elbow.
Well, we can still watch him, guys.
His hype peaked.
I've watched every game he's playing.
Okay, I'll switch. DJ Lagway.
Oh.
Because if you saw him against LSU, you saw why he's a 5-star. You saw why they're excited. He's going to be facing the best defensive line the best defense he's faced all year in Ole Miss. If he comes through and has a big game here, look the fuck out for next season.
You know what else we're excited about, Brandon?
Yes.
We have a new sponsor.
Come on now.
We've got and listen, you're from the South.
I am.
I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
These two are not, but they're boot guys. Ev was rocking the whole Texas fit when we were in Dallas. We've got Tacovas.
Oh,
listen, Tacovas.
some nice boots.
Some nice boots. Like, and by the way, now that like anybody who's listening might not know Tacovas, their commercials, like they just give you that Western feeling that you're just like, oh my God, they were born.
You're out on a cattle drive and
with a nice.
The moon is above, and I'm playing guitar by the fire.
But they're good, solid,
Yeah.
like just quality boots. You got maybe a nice glass of whiskey. That's what Tacovas make you do. Born in Texas in 2015. They're all handcrafted with over 200 meticulous steps for broken in comfort right out of the box. If you're a boot guy, and obviously I went to a school where guys wear boots all the time, girls wear boots, getting boots out of the box that are stiff and uncomfortable, you don't want to keep wearing them. Tacovas, they come broken in for you. They're quality Western boots for everybody from generational ranchers to lifelong cowboys to first-time boot buyers, whether it's a long day, a big night, they've got it all. Tacovas are built to last and impress. They're everywhere right now. They truly are. They're not that old. Again, they're 9 years old. They are everywhere. They're national. Great. If you're a boot guy or gal, holiday season's coming up. Get you some Tacovas. Right now, you get 10% off at tacovas.com/roughness. And all you have to do is sign up for emails or text. That's 10% off TECOVAS.com/roughness, tacovas.com/roughness. See site for details. Tacovas, point your toes west, Brandon. And there's nothing better than a good pair of boots for the holidays. I'm just saying.
That sounds great. Point your toes west. That sounds beautiful.
Why? That's what the ads.
No, I know. I like it. It made me think of Tim McGraw's song.
Made me think
I'm going to
of
live where the
Yellowstone
green
for
grass
some reason.
grows. Watch my corn pop up in rows. Every night, feet
Don't
tucked
get
in
us
close
demonetized.
to you.
Don't get
Oh,
us-
yeah, you're right.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Point our rocking chairs towards the west. Anyway, upset alert. This could be a big category right here, but hopefully we'll all have a different one. Blutman. 11 minutes. Blutman.
It started to get talked about a little too much, but my whole thought process all week was Indiana, Ohio State's the talk of the town. Everyone's focused on that little trip coming up to Minnesota for Penn State. Sneaky little spot there.
Yeah.
And so Max Brosmer's been playing incredible football quarterback for them. Better than the stats will show. I think he's been great. Look out for that one. And then SMU, Virginia.
Yeah, wow.
And then SMU, just throw that one in.
Immediately took two right off the
Yeah.
jump. Yeah, wow, what an asshole. Go ahead. Big F.
Took two of mine.
Yeah, he took two of mine as well. So.
I mean, there's a bunch. I'll go.
I'm sorry.
Kayce, I'm sorry. No one's saying it all week. A&M's on upset alert big time.
They got to be.
It barely even got talked about on the college football show. It's the same line, the South Carolina game. Auburn defense is underrated. I think overall as a team, they're probably underrated. They're also so much better as a dog. Hugh Freeze better as a dog that he's his favorite. I think this is a scare. We talk about the script. They're going to lose this game, and then they're going to beat Texas.
I'm going to be honest. I was happy. It didn't even get mentioned one time
Not
on the
one
college
time,
football show,
yeah.
and I wasn't going to bring it up because
it
God
was
forbid
gonna-
I bring up A&M.
It was going to be used for my under the radar.
Yeah.
But I had to pull
It's
it out
it's a good one because it's the line's scary. Everything about it's scary.
Everything's terrifying. Talk to me though when I wake up on Saturday. I'm going to feel very different.
Yeah, well, as we do.
Yes.
What's your upset alert?
We've talked about the game already. Blutman, I think UCLA plus 4.5. Like USC is a dumpster fire right now. I think they want to get rid of Lincoln Riley. It feels like they don't really have much to play for. They do, but it just USC it's horrible to watch. And UCLA has strung together some good football. They looked bad at the beginning of the year, but did they?
Yeah. Blutman kind of stole mine at the end of his, but I like SMU to be on upset alert at Virginia. SMU defense is okay, but Virginia's got some offense. This is not a god awful Virginia team. It's not a particularly real good team, but it's a solid team that I believe can score some points. So I like Virginia. And nobody mentioned Colorado, Kansas. I think Colorado's certainly on it. And then BYU as well, but I think even. Well, shit, they're not even favored. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Under the radar game, Kayce.
It's Wisconsin-Nebraska, Brandon, and I understand that there are probably not a lot of people out there that give a single flying fuck about this game, but I just did the NFL show or the Pro Football show with Will Compton and Dan Katz, obviously on either side of that, and what's really interesting to me is now, and Will is always very positive about Nebraska no matter what, these two programs are in complete different spots, and both of these programs are looking for their win to get bowl eligible. But when you look at Wisconsin's had a lot of injuries. They had some close games that if they hadn't had those injuries, like, you look at the Oregon game. Then you look on the other side at Nebraska, who had Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule, and they had all the promise in the world, all the potential in the world, and they're both in the exact same spot at 5-5 fighting for that bowl win. And again, maybe it's because it's the Barstool bubble that we're in, but that game is big for one of these programs, and two pretty new coaches that have a lot to fight for in the Big Ten. That's why it's under the radar.
Under the radar, Big F.
Vanderbilt, LSU.
Yes, please.
6-4, 6-4. Obviously, those records look very different for each program. I think it's gonna be a great game, a very exciting game. Give me the Commodores and the points.
Blutman, under the radar.
It's the 123rd edition of It's the 123rd edition of Brawl of the Wild.
And that, of course, anytime the Brawl of the Wild gets together, you got to throw out the record books.
You got to point your toes west.
And you got to tell the people who the Brawl of the
Throw your record books out, sure, but it's 8-3 Montana. It's 11-0 Montana State. It's two of the premier teams in the FCS playing for the Great Divide Trophy in the snow in Bozeman on Saturday. Unfortunately, somehow, some way, early kickoff.
Oh, no.
That game should be played Saturday night on national television in the snow in the pitch black, and we just watch a great ball game. But no, it's on the plus in the middle of the day. Garbage.
I'm gonna say a game that might not be all that under the radar, but I'll explain it. Mine's Arizona State and BYU, and it's not because it's two ranked teams, so it's not that under the radar. But Arizona State, to me, is the most under-the-radar team in the entire country, and I think this could be a good showcase for them. BYU, the bloom is off that rose, I believe, a little bit. I think Arizona State with Scadaboo, who people just don't talk about enough. Sam Levitt's very good. Dillingham's got it going, man. He's got it going. I think this is a huge statement for them.
They also have an incredible wide receiver in Jordan Tyson that Kleiman called the best wide receiver he's ever faced.
Go.
Well, I was about to say this is a great transition because as we introduced last week, our new Get Unfucked segment by Mobile X. The segment is sponsored by Mobile X. Mobile X is a new app-based mobile phone service that when you only pay for data, talks, and texts you use. So you don't pay for all the extra shit. You only pay for it. So we all go around the room and we talk about who needs to get unfucked. The Big 12, what you just mentioned, because when we watch the college football playoff this week, we watch how far they dropped BYU after their loss last week, which, again, I did not think BYU should be in the top 10. But as Liam pointed out on the episode on Tuesday, there is a crazy but rational path that if the Big 12 just eats itself alive, they could potentially be left out of the college football playoff, which would be wild. The Big 12 needs to get unfucked this week, whether that's Arizona State killing BYU, Colorado beating Kansas, however that may look. The Big 12 is in a spot right now that does not look good because they're not even having that automatic buy. So I'm going to do that. That's my Mobile X Get Unfucked. Ev, who's yours?
Mine, I'm going to go off that. I think it's BYU specifically.
Yeah.
They were so lit. Now they're so fucked. But they have everyone's saying they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose, but they have an opportunity to get totally unfucked here.
Sure.
You go to Arizona State, you go win this game, you're so back. You're more back than anyone's ever been back before.
Yeah, you're right. Blutman, who needs to get unfucked?
I feel bad for him, and I won't go into the specifics of it once again, but Kent State, man, it's you got to get rid of Kenny Burns. Should have got rid of him a long time ago. He's got 1-22 record at Kent State. This move should have been made weeks ago, if not months ago. Not only is he just a bad football coach, these players that he plays for now, the players that he's had in the past, guys that have been affiliated with the program in the past, nobody likes him. Consistent. The guy is a bad guy. This program is just a shell of what it was just a few years ago when Sean Lewis had built it up and they were rolling. It's sad to see where Kent State's at. Make the move and get better, start the rebuild, and let's get the ball rolling again at Kent State. Maxon shouldn't be down bad like this. It's not funny anymore.
And my get unfucked team is Florida. They started the process last week, and they've got no better opportunity than right now. If they were to beat Ole Miss, the arrow points straight up for the Florida Gators, and they would be head head over heels on the road to getting unfucked.
And you would be so happy. Mobile X helps you spend less because you only pay for what you use, which means you save up to 90% on your current mobile phone service. That's why switching to Mobile X will help you get unfucked, all while using one of the largest 5G networks in America. All you have to do is go check out mymobilex.com or download the Mobile X app from the App Store or Google Play. Get unfucked, Brandon.
I'll do it like this as the clock winds down. If Ohio State, Indiana is the game you're most excited about, raise your hand. 3 hands went up. Big Ev's, Kayce's, and mine.
Obviously.
To me,
Should
this
be
is
Blutman's too. I don't see why not.
to me.
I mean, as an Indiana
I
guy,
don't see why.
To me, this is Indiana, who's been the talk of the town all year, 10-0. You wanted your chance? Well, here's your chance. You go into Columbus. All right, you a real team? You a playoff team? You a fucking national title team? You walk into Columbus and you stand up to Ohio State. I don't know that you have to beat them, but you got to go in there and you got to play their ass off. That, to me, this is the biggest one.
and what I was going to say on top of that, too, it's like everyone's like, oh, why don't we love Cinderella stories anymore? Like, and that might be true. For some reason, we don't love, like, the underdog. You're not you're not a Cinderella story in the Big Ten. Like, yes, you're 10-0. I get that. But, like, all the preemptive crying seems like, just stop. Just go ahead and win. Like, there's preemptive crying right now.
Yeah, I just Cinderellas or whatnot. It's just, when you have the 106, when you have the number 106 schedule, there's a reason people are doubting you. That is the exact reason. So, but you have the opportunity to flip it on its head. And Ohio State has the opportunity to go ahead and seize everything they ever wanted by just taking care of Indiana here, beating the shit out of Michigan next week, and bam, they're right there playing Oregon in 2 weeks.
They're real Cinderella, though.
They're a Cinderella.
I mean, they're a basketball school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Cinderella.
Like, I think they just like
First year coach.
and I will say they did get attacked.
Yeah.
Like, I do think they were unfairly attacked. They were.
I don't think it's unfair. Their schedule's garbage.
But I think you attacked. If they lose this game by 30, then you attack them. Don't
I agree
attack.
with that.
Like, I think there's no reason to. They've done nothing to warrant the attack other than the schedule they played.
That's what I'm saying. It's all preemptive to me. And okay, fine. Cinderella, they're 10-0, whatever. That story happens after this weekend to me. Like, I feel like everything is super preemptive. Like, you go in and you beat Ohio State, you're a Cinderella story. Their schedule's dog shit.
Blutman, 20 seconds. Game that excites you the most.
Yeah, I'm not going to cave to the peer pressure of big noon kickoff. Gross garbage. Let's play those games at better times. It's UCLA, USC, more specifically the second half.
It's time for the underdog parlay of the underdog of the week parlay presented by DraftKings. Again, the underdog parlay of the week presented by DraftKings. We've hit it 4 times this year. I got relatively close last week, but not super close. I think we went 2 and 2, I believe.
Yeah, West Virginia.
Yeah.
2 and 2. Yeah. But anyway, well, let's finish strong. We have 2 weeks left in the regular season, so let's go right now. Kayce, lead us off.
We already mentioned it. It's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt +8 against LSU.
Very good. Big F.
I've talked about it all year. Army plus 14.5. This is a legacy game for me.
Blutman, underdog. Whatever he planted under the.
I didn't plan anything there. I just thought it was maybe there.
What is it?
I thought Cowbell was there. Mississippi State spread.
Move the
Wow.
Wow.
Did that one for you, Brown Walker. Did for all.
Do it.
Did for everyone.
There we go.
Hey, by the way,
Cowbell's over here by me, buddy.
Fred Smoot, phenomenal.
I know. He's great.
That man is a preacher.
And I'll finish it off. I have. Do I see a world where Mike Gundy's going over in the Big 12? I don't. Oklahoma State plus 3.5 against Texas Tech. They're a dead dog. Oklahoma State's bad. They're bad. They're bad.
Bad.
That's why we're betting on him right here. He's not going over in the Big 12. I just can't allow it. I can't have it happen.
Go to DraftKings.
I got Oklahoma State. Yes, please. Thank you. The underdog parlay of the week presented by DraftKings is, and I'm going to finish telling you all about it right now. This week, DraftKings has a college football parlay profit boost. All you have to do is head to the app and opt in. So head to the app now, check out our bet, and claim this week's boost. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is unnecessary roughness. 1 minute after I said we'd be done, we are.
It's a blizzard. It's a blizzard, folks. It's
blizzard.
It's
People are dying, folks.
Nor'easter.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Our pets. And also, we'll be back on Saturday night. Hopefully, we're all very happy.
Unnecessary
Except for you, Brandon.
roughness.
I don't want you to be happy.
We'll see you guys. Why me?
Because I don't want Ole Miss to lose.
We play Missouri.